Welcome to the Loveland Report and Lone Ranger Show. I am Cleve Loveland, Central Florida's best real estate planner, alongside Bruce Woodburn, the Lone Ranger. We're going to give you all your real estate and mortgage updates, what's going on in the market, where are we at on interest rates. My top three sales are up over last year. I want to dig in, Bruce, on how 6% is a great rate, but we can get you 5%. And then I want to talk about time equals money on repairs for landlords, pre-listing inspections, ways to save money, whether you're a seller, buyer, or landlord. We'll dig into that. What do you got, Bruce?
I want to talk a little bit about what's going on in the market and how this whole thing with the Iran not performing on their ceasefire and we're cutting it off, and how is that affecting interest rates right now? What is that going to do to the market? And can you or should you still be looking to purchase or refinance in a market like that? Secondly is Hometown Heroes, back for heroes. We're going to talk a little bit about who qualifies for down payment assistance through Hometown Heroes, up to $35,000 in Hometown Heroes money per person, and you don't have to repay it back until the loan's paid off. So we're going to talk about the terms on that, who qualifies for it. Then I want to talk about who actually is purchasing homes in today's market, because I don't know about you, Cleve, but I'm seeing a lot more high-end stuff coming through. I'm seeing more $1 million, $2 million, $3 million
Those
homes.
people are secure with what's going on. We've got normalcy returned when Trump came back in. The stock market's doing okay despite the war. Things look good. There's common sense in DC and around the country for the most part. Hopefully the midterms will continue that. But those people just look for, I think they look for performance, because they're not getting FHA loans at 1.7 million.
No, they're not.
They're putting 20, 40, 50% down and very good with their money. And I have
some of them are interesting. I've seen some of these wealthy people that are paying cash for homes, but they really shouldn't be paying cash for homes. They should be financing them.
Yep.
But they don't.
Because
right now, the stock market has made record gains, just unbelievable record gains. Why do you want to pull money out of the market?
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
So therefore, I want to announce a class that I'm going to hold for CPAs and financial planners. If you're a real estate agent, you're welcome to join. It will be a Zoom class on July 22nd at 12 noon. This is going to be a lunch and learn. You buy your own lunch, you sit in front of your computer,
and you learn,
and you listen to me.
There you go.
And it's free. Okay. But I'm going to tell financial planners and CPAs, show them how they can better serve their clients by keeping their money in the market working for them. You'll want to join me. Go to WeBringYouHome.com and register there on July 22nd.
All right. So rates probably going to be hovering in the sixes, mid sixes.
They're already in the mid sixes. We just saw, we got hammered this week, obviously, because Iran is not going to perform and it's causing the market to get a little uneasy, but they didn't go crazy. They're probably running around 6.6 today, but that's really where the market is.
And this is what's funny, Bruce. I had several offers go out last week, multiple offers. Actually, our buyers went up against multiple offers. And so I saw a little bit of that. Now, this could be the summer bump, but I got June's numbers, and June was kind of sleepy on the phones, my listings, as far as what's going on out there. But sales are up over last year. So in Central Florida, we want to beat 25. We want to run ahead of them. And we're probably, for the year, we're probably down by about 5% behind them. But June's numbers were 9% higher for the closed sales. We closed 200 more homes than we did last year in June. We sold almost 3,000 homes, and it was 2,700 last year. And average price, this is what's funny. This includes the 4-county area, or 5 counties. We're including the beaches in this. 531,000 average price.
Okay.
Average price last year, 506. And I think it's part of
people are kind of down. I'm actually up. I'm up about 15% from last year. Now my leads were down, but my closings are up.
I'm running ahead of last year too, but that's me, and I'm a small blip on the market. There's 3,000 sales a month. I wish I did it.
Well, you wonder why are we up and the market is down?
We work harder. But that's it. But the market is the market, and that's why I
worked hard when the market was.
And that's why I talk about making a real estate plan. I got a buyer that comes to me, and they sit down with me, and they talk about what they want to do. I'm like, all right, first guy to talk to is Bruce, and then we'll get back into it. We'll see where you're going to look. What do you want to do? What's important on the house? The wish list and the must-haves. If you're a seller, I just talked to a gentleman yesterday, retiring, going to the beaches. He actually had the luxury of being able to buy without selling.
Right.
And so he talked about, should he do that? I'm like, well, if you see a house you really love, you could. I said, I can usually get you under contract within a month or two in this market. This kind of depends. And he was very realistic on pricing. He wanted to do some work to the house. I told him what to do, what not to do. Probably going to spend about 2 or 3 grand, less than 1% on a $600,000 home, probably about 0.5%. Just some painting and things like that, cleaning carpets. He didn't have too much clutter. Talked to him about that. But the main thing I think that I watch is, like, I looked at his list price. There was 5 other people right where he was going to list. I said, we go a couple thousand below them.
That's it.
There literally was like, there's 5 people at 650, 649.9, 649.950, 649.5. And that's the market trend. And you got to watch that, because if you're on the market for 3 weeks and don't get an offer, and some of those 649s drop down to 638.9, you got to watch that, and you got to check your activity and see if there's any feedback from the buyers coming through on what they like or dislike about your home.
Do you interview the other agents that bring your clients into your listings? Do you call them and say, hey, what'd you think? Do you think it was priced okay? Have you looked at the other competition in the neighborhood?
When they get showing instructions, when they pull the showing instructions to go show that house, if they show it, hopefully they are professional enough to leave feedback. They get an automatic message from the lockbox and from the showing time, an email saying, what'd you think of price? It asks them a couple questions. Rate this listing 1 to 5. How'd you rate it? And it gives me some feedback for the sellers. Now, what's the best feedback I can get, Bruce? An offer.
Of course it is.
Yeah, and that's what I want to know. Or if they were, because it's a numbers game. Out of 5 people through a house, you know how many probably bought one that week? 1 or 2.
Maybe.
And so I need 10, 12 showings.
But it's nice that when you get that feedback, because if you are struggling to maybe get a price reduction and you thought, yeah, we may be a little on the high side in the market, but let's try it. And then you're not getting any offers. And then you've got other realtors that are coming by. When the one on Stonington Avenue, a half a mile down the street, was better than yours, and it had this, and it had a pool, and it had whatever. You like to bring that back to your clients so you can look at what is your actual competition so that you can price it accordingly.
I just helped when a gentleman called me off a good referral from a good friend of mine, and he had an agent from 3 counties away. He never heard from him until he said, hey, I'm going to fire you. And then he hears from him every week now, which is ridiculous. But I gave him some pricing advice, and also he could not get out of his listing contract. There was a penalty, and the agent would not lift it.
That's insane.
I gave him some pricing advice, and he did it, and he sold. Now, I didn't get that listing. Oh, but he got sold. And you got to watch what the market's telling you. Sometimes it's the house. It's not always price. Sometimes it's the commission being paid. He did not know that the builder was in the neighborhood paying 1% more to the buyer's agents than him.
Those buyers agents
won't even bother with the resales. They're going to go straight to the builder's model. So anyway, things like that all come up. If you need a real estate plan, I can help you. 407-352-8118 or cleveloveland.com.
Yeah. And if you're looking for a mortgage to purchase, refinance, maybe you'd like to build your own home. Maybe you're getting up there and you don't really want to make a mortgage payment anymore, and you got a lot of equity in a home. Maybe a reverse mortgage is the right thing for you. We're doing lots of reverse mortgages right now. And maybe a home equity line of credit. Maybe you've got a 3.5% rate, but you need some money and you don't want to refinance the 3.5% rate. You need a home equity line of credit. I've got them right here. WeBringYouHome.com. Cross Country Mortgage, largest retail lender in the country. Awesome. 1 in 15 mortgages in Florida are cross country mortgages. 1 in 15, 1 in 26 in the United States. So Florida is dominating. We are killing it with cross country mortgage. And the interesting thing is we don't have a stadium. We don't spend $1 billion a day. God knows, I don't know what Rocket spends, but they're the largest.
You don't have an F1 team?
We don't have an F1 team. We don't have a stadium.
No NASCAR team?
We don't have any of that stuff. You know what we have? We're the #1 retail lender. Now, Rocket does a few more loans than we do because they do wholesale and resale. We only do resale. We are so close to them. Yet we do not advertise. None. There's really no advertisement.
How do you think they pay for that advertising?
It has to be.
It's in the rate.
And it is. And that's one of the main reasons when I've got a client on the phone, let's look at Rocket Mortgage. Let's look at Bank of America. Let's look at Wells Fargo. Let's look at Citibank. Let's look at Chase. I can pull them all up and we can look at reliable mortgages. Now, here's another thing that I'm dealing with. This has been the bane of my headaches lately. Clients that are using mortgage brokers. Here's the difference in a mortgage broker and a mortgage lender. First of all, I'm a lender. Everything I do is direct. I don't have to outsource anything. It's all done internally. A mortgage broker, everything is outsourced. everything.
Yep.
Most of them even outsource their processing.
Yeah.
They don't even do that internally. They can't lock the loan in. They can't order the appraisal. They can't send the disclosures. And yet you choose them because you think they gave you an eighth of a point better in interest rate, cost you saved you $9 and cost you $10,000 in headaches.
Yeah.
The problem with that, folks, is that I have no control. And I've got deals falling apart right now because my client's ready to go at the closing table, but the people that are buying their home got a mortgage broker. I've got 3 of them right now that I swear if we can ever get them to the closing table, will be amazing.
I'd be calling that other domino that has to fall for your closing. I'd be calling those agents going, hey, can I do that loan for you?
That's the problem, is the agents are just as bad as the lender. The agents don't return phone call.
Welcome
I
to
had one, he was
2025,
out of the
yeah.
country for 21 days. Nobody could reach the guy. I'm just telling you, it's absolutely
Well, as sales,
insane.
and right now sales are up a little bit. The days on the market is down, Bruce. It's down from 64 days to 62. So slightly less time on the market for homes. I think that's most people saying, hey, I saw my neighbor on the market for 6 months. It's not like there was 20 cars in the driveway and in 2 weeks, the moving truck was there.
Right.
So I think when this days on the market gets down to around 45, 50, then you're going to start seeing more multiple offers. We'll see as the inventory shrinking. I'm seeing inventory shrinking.
I should
have those numbers next weekend. I should have those numbers for inventory. And for the last year, inventory has been slowly dropping. And we're down to 4.9%, 4.9 month supply. And I think that gets down to a 2 or 3 month, and that's when you'll see more activity. And buyers right now, I think it's really important they have a good realtor helping them. I had somebody being shown homes, and they had not signed a buyer broker agreement yet. And there's like, what's that? I'm like, this is what a realtor is going to do for you. And this is, you want one person dedicated to making sure you find the home.
Let's talk just for a minute about a buyer broker agreement. We got just a minute. And so the law passed where a buyer, when they work with a realtor, has to sign an agreement.
I like
and
a
that
listing
agreement says that buyer is going to pay your commission.
Yep.
Okay. Now, but I send you a pre-approval letter, and the pre-approval says we need closing costs paid by the seller, or this client doesn't qualify.
Yep.
So even though the buyer has agreed to pay you the commission, you already know they're not going to pay you, correct?
It depends on the house. And
let's just say,
I get it. I padded into the closing cost, but the problem would be like, that buyer's only got $50K to put down on a $500,000 house. You've got them all set. We know we need 3 or 4% in closing costs. And I go to the agent, and they're like, oh, the seller's only paying 1%. I go, they got to pay 3, or else we're not going to show the home. Now, what most realtors do, they don't even show the home. So
they won't even call the agent.
If you're a seller out there having that problem and you think you're being slick by only giving a below market commission to the buyer's agent, you're complicating the deal. You're making the numbers fuzzy, and you're just costing yourself time.
I agree with that. What's your phone number, my friend?
407-352-8118 or cleveloveland.com for your real estate plan.
Yeah, and call the loan arranger. Purchase, refinance, home equity line of credit, build, renovate, you name it. I got it. Go to WeBringYouHome.com. That's WeBringYouHome.com, or call or text me at 407-250-9144 or WeBringYouHome.com. Cleve and I will be back in 5